Hello, everyone. Welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host and producer, Logan Landers. And joining me to talk about Devontez Walker, the wide receiver coming out of North Carolina with the Tar Heels. As always, helping me out, Mr. Football, Vincent Turner. How you doing this afternoon, Vincent?
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Logan Landers?
I am doing tremendous, sir. Doing well, and excited to talk about this tremendous wide receiving prospect out of North Carolina. But before we get into it, before we break down this exciting young prospect, you guys enjoy this episode. Give us a like, follow, be sure to share, and of course subscribe so you don't miss a single episode on Facebook and YouTube. And also, if you enjoy podcasts, you can check us out thanks to the Believe Podcast Network on all major streaming platforms. Well, Vincent, let's get into this one. Devontez Walker, wide receiver out of North Carolina. When you look at this young man, he has put up some impressive numbers coming out of North Carolina out there with the Tar Heels. As we all know, he has had Drake May throwing the ball to him the past couple of seasons, and he has been putting in some work. That is for sure. He's been putting in some work. Looking at him, though, he's coming in 6'3", 200 pounds, out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And like I said, 2023 was his breakout year, you would say, in terms of national notoriety. Before he came over, he was at Kent State with the Golden Flashes. He had a really solid 2022 year there, 58 grabs for 921, 11 touchdowns. And this past year at UNC, also had a great year, 699 yards on 41 catches, 7 touchdowns, Vincent. What I like about him, a 17-yard per catch average. That's big play ability, as we like to always say here on the show, because he has really shown flashes of being just a tremendous player, and just a great wide receiver. Now, the unfortunate thing about him, and this isn't a knock on him, is that this, Vincent, as we know, is a stacked quarterback and wide receiving draft in 2024. I mean, there's a ton of names coming out, but that's what we're here to do. We're here to talk about all of these tremendous prospects, and that's why we're highlighting Devontez Walker to show him some love and maybe make you rethink your own draft boards and where you would put this young man at. What I like about him personally, just a natural player. I mean, he makes every play look effortless. And it's hard to do that, especially playing at the level that he does in the ACC, which is a very good conference, as we know. He's got good fluidity, great hands as well. I mean, you don't see him drop the ball a whole lot, if any. Like I said, it just looks natural. And once he gets that speed, Vincent, once he gets it going, he can take the top off. He's like Bugattis and Maseratis. Once you drop it down, once you take down once you pop the top, he's going to the end zone because he has blazing quick speed. If you blink, you'll miss this guy. That's how good he is, and that's how quick that Devontez Walker is. As a guy who also is just absolutely, when it comes to route running, when it comes to an athlete, I mean, he's up there in this draft in terms of how just crazy he is when it comes to just his speed and his quickness. His straight line speed is going to be rivaling a lot of the guys in the draft combine. He's agile, as I mentioned, good frame, great long arms as well, makes him go up there and get the ball. Solid to creating separation as well. He can do that with the best corners and safeties on him. And thing I like about him too, he's got really good footwork near the sidelines and near in the back of the end zone. He is able to just get those feet in there and make those tightrope catches you have to have in order to be an elite wide receiver in the NFL. Overall, Vincent, this guy has a ton of potential, does Devontez Walker. I think that overall he is a really good player. Obviously, he had a great quarterback throwing to him in Drake May, who's going to be probably one of the top 5 quarterbacks taken this year. But I think that all in all, man, Devontez Walker has some really good potential to be a great wide receiver in the National Football League. Give us your thoughts, though. What do you like about this young man and what all he has done at the North Carolina helping out the Tar Heels?
Boy, boy, boy. I gotta agree with you, Logan. I love this young man right here. Played in only 8 games for North Carolina this past season because he had some eligibility questions trying to come over from Kent State. Now, NCAA made it very difficult for him, but he finally got to play with Drake May. But looking what he did at Kent State, man, in North Carolina in his career, 104 receptions, over 1,744 yards. As you said, average 17 yards a catch, 19 touchdowns. You got to think of natural playmaker. You got to think, as you just said, take the top off the defense. And it reminds me, Logan, see, you weren't born at this time, but I was about 9, 10 years old, and the great Sly Stone had a song out, Sly and the Family Stone. Let me get the band correct. And they said, I want to take you higher. Do, 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 do. See, Tez Walker has got that type of ability. Home run. Babe Ruth, Mark Aguirre, Barry Bonds, yards after catch. He is one of the most explosive wide receivers coming into this 2024 NFL draft. Then you look at all the great wide receivers that played in North Carolina, from Sam Aiken to Corey Holiday, to Hakeem Nicks, Super Bowl champion with the New York Giants, Eric Highsmith, Dwight Jones, and of course Josh Downs, who's doing his thing with the Indianapolis Colts. I will say this. When it's all said and done, we're not going to be talking about Michael Jordan being the best basketball player out of North Carolina. Tez Walker is going to come. When he get to the NFL, they might be talking about him being the best wide receiver that's played in North Carolina football history, and he's only played in 8 games. And then when you look at his skill set, he got a little bit of that Michael Clayton that played at LSU, or the Dwayne Bowe that played at LSU. Then he got that, as we say, creating separation, taking the top off the defense. Harold Jackson, who played with the LA Rams by way of Jackson State. A little bit of Eddie Brown that played at Miami, that went to the Cincinnati Bengals. He got a little bit of Willie Gault, that track speed out of the University of Tennessee that played with the Chicago Bears. And he got a little bit of that Santana Mouse, another University of Miami receiver that used to take the top off the defense when he was with the Redskins and the Jets. Logan, this gentleman right here is going to be one of the most explosive wide receivers that come in the draft. And you brought up a good point. We talking about Roma Doozy. We talking about Malik Neighbors. We talking about all these great receivers, A. Mitchell, that's coming in the draft. But, man, I would not be surprised if Tez Walker is that guy when it's all said and done out of 2024 NFL draft. We talking about him like Sly and the Family Stone. I'm going to take you higher. Do. I love the young man. That young man is going to be a playmaker at the next level.
My final thoughts on this, Vincent, and I'll keep it short and sweet. It wouldn't surprise me one single bit if we see a team. I wouldn't call it a reach. I would call it a surprise for draft analysts out there, whatnot. If they pick this young man over some of the names you've mentioned.
Don't say it, Logan. Don't say it.
Don't say it?
Yeah, go and say it. I know who you're thinking about, because if he gets with them, woo-wee.
I'm just saying, Vincent. Hey, if he comes to a certain team near us,
yes, sir,
near and dear to our hearts, not too far away, in the black and red, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just saying it would be pretty nice. But in general, if any NFL team just drafts this young man, picks him ahead of some of the guys we've mentioned, and don't get me wrong, those guys are all monsters. The Marvin Harrison Jr.'s, Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, A.D. Mitchell. I mean, it's a stacked list. But it wouldn't shock me one bit if there's a GM out there who says, you know what? Let's take a chance on this guy with Devontez Walker and see if it hits pay dirt. And from what I've seen, from what we've talked about here today, I think he's got that potential to creep up those leaderboards, and it would not surprise me one bit if he goes above someone that some other people we've been talking about in the program. That's how special this guy is. Mr. Turner, your final thoughts.
I'm going to say this. Today was a gentleman, the great Scott Daniel Kelly, had mentioned this other receiver going in the first round to the Kansas City Chiefs. But I'm going to tell you something. We got the greatest player in the game right now, guns up, Texas Tech, by the name of Patrick Mahomes. And they need a receiver bad.
Oof.
They need a receiver bad, Logan.
Oh, boy. Oh,
and
no.
that means that Travis Kelce in his love fest with Taylor Swift don't have them draft Tez Walker out of the University of North Carolina. You're talking about a 3-peat. You might be talking about 4-peat, 5-peat with him on the outside with a Travis Kelce, a Patrick Mahomes. Help me, Jesus. I wonder if the Kansas City Chiefs watching him, because this gentleman right here is going to be one of the most electrifying players to come into the National Football League. The Michael Jordan of the 2024 draft out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. His name is Tez Walker. And if you think I'm playing, go look at the game film against the University of Miami when he had 6 receptions, 132 yards. He averaged almost 20 yards a catch, and how he brutalized 2 safeties that's supposed to be going high in the NFL draft, and Mr. Cameron Kitchens and Mr. James Williams out of the University of Miami. And he made them look like, I want to say, lunch meat. Have a blessed day, Mr. Logan Landers.
Yes, sir. My final thoughts, Mr. Turner, before we wrap things up. I think that Tez Walker is going to do some great things in the NFL. And as our former NFL draft scout who helps us out each and every single week says, Mr. Daniel Kelly, that is, we don't say this for shock value. We don't say this to get clicks. We watch film. We watch not highlights. Don't get it twisted. We watch film, good, bad, and ugly. And we break down these prospects. That's what we're here to do. We're not here to be on the front page of anywhere. We're here to break down these prospects and give them good analysis, what we like about him. And as y'all can tell, both myself and Mr. Football Vincent Turner, we think the world of Devontez Turner. We think this guy is going to be lighting up some defenses in the National Football League. Guys, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk to you again on another